got to fight this guy. Oh, you got injured in camp. You lose to that guy too. Now you're set back when you could have been a champion.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of like weirdness going on with possibilities and, you know, just luck, bad luck, and good luck.
Bad luck and good luck. Timing, I think, is a big thing.
How is something like this allowed to happen? How is Jake Paul allowed to fight Gervonta Davis? It's completely unfair. It is completely just, I can't say the word that I want to say because I don't want to get canceled.
Planet. And then going out there and taking on a guy that is maybe 92 pounds heavier, that is at least 65 pounds heavier than you. That is called one thing. That's called being a...
Joe Rogan spoke out sharply against Jake Paul's decision to fight Gervonta "Tank" Davis, pointing out the massive difference in size between the two. He emphasized that weight classes exist for a reason, to keep fighters safe and the competition fair. Rogan argued that Jake seems more interested in promoting a spectacle than respecting the fundamentals of boxing. His main concern is that Jake's size and power could put Tank at serious risk, making the matchup both unfair and dangerous.
Sure, but no time limit within the weight class.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That would be that'd be pretty wild.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
because
crazy.
you know, like two guys are facing off each other, like, and they know, like, there's no rescue every 5 minutes.
Yeah, and you go into it knowing you're either getting knocked down or submitted, or you're doing that.
Michael Bisping has voiced major concerns over Jake Paul's decision to take on Gervonta "Tank" Davis, despite the huge weight difference between them. He highlighted that Jake is set to fight someone nearly 100 pounds lighter, which completely goes against the spirit of fair competition. Bisping compared it to the controversy surrounding Jake's bout with the much older Mike Tyson, saying this matchup feels even more unbalanced. To him, it's less about true boxing competition and more about Jake trying to gain an advantage while putting Tank's safety at risk.
That's called being a bully. It was bad enough when he fought Mike Tyson, a man that was 58 years old, and he was walking around like, I just beat the baddest man on the planet. I just destroyed Mike Tyson and went out there and I beat him, and him and his brother are all celebrating and shit like that. It's like, dude, what are you doing? What don't you understand about this? If you want respect from your peers, if you want everyone on the planet to look at you and take you seriously and give you credit as a boxer, you have to take on challenges that are real. You have to go up against someone that keeps you up at night, against someone that gets you out of bed in the morning to go for a run because the fear of them beating you down is real. Not going up against someone that is so small. If you were to go up to this guy in a bar and try and start a fight with them, people would look at you and say one word: whoa, 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 stop being such a bully. Leave him alone. You are way bigger than this guy. And that's clearly what we have here. It is ridiculous. When you look at the tail of the tape, Gervonta "Tank" Davis, granted, a very, very skilled boxer, a world champion. He's had some great wins. He's had a tremendous career. He's got 28 knockouts on his record. I'm just looking at the tail of the tape here. 30 years old, Jake Paul, 28. Gervonta Davis is 5'5" tall, whereas Jake Paul is 6'1". I would never dream on picking on a guy that is 5'5" tall. Granted, there's some tough guys out there that are 5'5", okay? They're smaller guys, you know, but for 5'5", they'll pack a good punch. Typically, they're mixed martial artists or boxers. Yeah.
Teddy Atlas shared his reaction to the face-off between Jake Paul and Gervonta "Tank" Davis, pointing out how massive the size gap really is. He joked that Tank looked so small next to Jake, he'd probably need a ladder just to reach his chin. Atlas made it clear that while style and skill differences are part of boxing, this particular matchup crosses the line. In his view, Tank's size disadvantage makes the fight seem unfair and lopsided right from the start.
They should also have, like, the size of the ring, the size of the glove, all that stuff. Particulars should be in the contract, but I would probably look for one thing that is not the common thing to have in a contract if I'm Tank: a ladder. A ladder. Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Jake might be doing a dance. You know what I mean? Not voluntarily either. But we'll get into that more later. The thing that I'm talking about right here is what you said. It was stark. The size difference was really, you couldn't ignore it. We understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure, and we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo, but you know, a little different. The size difference was, I mean, it was eye-catching, jaw-dropping, and it made me think. And I'm gonna ask Richie, our man here who's doing all the taping, who does such a marvelous job. I'm gonna ask him because I know he's an expert in this area. But it reminded me of one of the Rocky movies where they had the face, where they did the wrestling thing with Rocky and Hulk Hogan, AKA Thunderlips. He was Thunderlips back there.
Joe Rogan commented that Jake Paul's recent moves seem driven more by showmanship than true competition. He explained that fights like these are designed to grab attention, pull in casual fans, and create buzz through unexpected matchups. Rogan noted that all the betting talk and media hype aren't really about the sport itself. They're about generating headlines. In his view, Jake understands how to stay in the spotlight, using boxing as a marketing tool rather than focusing on genuine competition.
That's a problem. That makes it a problem. My opinion is, I just want to say, in case someone calls me into court, I'm a fucking idiot and I don't know nothing. And don't take my advice.
I love the Saudis.
Don't take my opinion.
I love the Israeli government. I love everybody.
That had nothing to do with them. That was Jake Paul promoting it. You know, it's just like,
but
doesn't bother me.
There's compromising the sport, and that's like bad. It's just like
if I bet on it, it
watching
bothers the
it is
fuck out
hard.
of me.
Watching it with people who are so in on it, and then also the sports betting apps, they introduced like chat apps in them in Australia, so it's like they're trying to take the place of social media companies where you go together and you meet your friends. Like betting should be exciting enough without having a weird.
They're just trying to draw you in.
thing.
They're just trying to make money, right? So they're trying to draw you in any way.
Leonard Ellerby shared that Gervonta "Tank" Davis wasn't in the right frame of mind to go up against Lamont Roach. According to him, Tank was dealing with several personal matters and didn't want to take on extra pressure during that period. This lack of focus and drive was the main reason the matchup never took place, even though fans were eager to see it. Ellerby added that Tank chose to prioritize his personal stability over competition, stepping back to avoid unnecessary stress.
Leonard Ellerby's happened with the Lamont Roach fight and all of the ups and downs about that fight.
Reports suggest that Gervonta "Tank" Davis may be considering retirement after his upcoming fight with Jake Paul. According to insiders, this decision has less to do with chasing legacy or collecting more titles and more to do with achieving long-term financial security. Many believe Tank's rather than by competition or career goals. Analysts have also pointed out that Tank has faced personal and professional pressures lately, which could be influencing his mindset. From this perspective, the Jake Paul fight seems like a strategic choice, a way to cash in one final time before closing this chapter of his boxing journey.